get this over with. Sandy people, how are you all doing, and welcome to a new video. Today I'm going to be reacting to my 2019-20 championship predictions that I made way back in July, nearly a year, well yeah, as a matter of fact a year ago now. If you've seen my prediction video from last season, you'll know that I didn't do particularly well and I'm not very good at these prediction videos, and this year it's the same story really. I'm close with a couple, I'm way off with some, so without any further hesitation, let's get into this. So starting out with the bottom of the table, the bottom three, the teams that I predicted to go down to League One. 24th, I had Wigan Athletic, and this one is such a shame because I really should have been a long way off with this one, but because of Wigan's points deduction, I actually was quite close. The Latics ended up 23rd. I was just one position off with this one. I did predict they'd go down, but they should have finished 13th. Obviously, they did go into administration recently. I have nothing but respect to Paul Cook and his players. They've been absolutely phenomenal. They hit form at the right time at the turn of the new year. They were in playoff or even promotion form. I do wish Wigan all the best next season. I do hope you'll be coming straight back up, but I should have been a long way off with this one, but I wasn't that far off. Then we go from a close one to an absolute shocker. 23rd, I had Queen's Park Rangers, and they ended up in 13th. Yeah, a lot of people, to be fair, did predict QPR to do badly. I think my reasoning behind it was they obviously had a new manager. Steve McLaren got sacked and Mark Warburton came in his place. They had like a massive club clean out. What was it, like 10 players in and like 12 or 13 out? They had a massive clean out. And for some reason, I just didn't think they'd do very well. A lot of people didn't think they'd do well. But yeah, fair play to QPR. They surprised me by finishing in the mid-table. Ebere Eze and Bright Osei Samuel, they were quality throughout the season. One big blow for QPR, though, was losing Naki Wells halfway through the season. That was quite a blow. Yeah, QPR had a decent season, built some decent foundations for next year. And in 22nd, I had Luton Town. The Hatters actually finished in 19th. So honestly, fair play to Luton, man. To keep them up to stay up is an absolutely fantastic achievement. I really do like the story of Luton. A couple of years ago, they were playing in non-league, and then two years ago, they go from back-to-back promotions all the way from League 2 straight to the Championship, and then they've stayed up. I think many Luton fans can be in agreement when they say that Graham Jones didn't really work out, and then Nathan Jones came in and replaced him, and obviously that was quite controversial because he left them last year for Stoke. We'll get onto them later. Fair play to Nathan Jones. He really got the best out of that side, and they managed to stay up. But they were in the relegation zone for a vast majority of the season, but yeah, to see a club like Luton survive in the Championship really is a fantastic achievement. Moving on to 21st to 13th, the rest of the bottom of the table. In 21st, I had Birmingham City. Now, even when I made this prediction video, I was sitting there thinking, Tyler, there's no way Birmingham are going to finish this low down in the table. But my reasoning was, obviously, they'd gone through quite a torrid summer. They'd lost Gary Monk, and then they'd also lost key players like Jota and Che Adams. Taking him out of that squad, they've now got a massive hole to fill, and I was sitting there thinking, even after I made this prediction video, there's no way they're going to finish 21st. And I actually wasn't that far off at all. The Blues finished in 20th. I was only one position off with this one. Yeah, I was shocked with this. I was really shocked that they came this low down. Obviously, Birmingham currently going through again some shocking ownership at the moment. No club should ever have to go through that. But I actually said I did a predicting video for the last 8 games of the season, and I said this team could be a tough team to beat. And they were the only team in the Championship that didn't win a game during the behind closed doors period. So they were absolutely shocking and very nearly went down. And a lot of Blues fans have been saying on social media all over the place that if they don't sort out their off-the-field matters, then they could well find themselves in a relegation scrap, or worse, even going down. And a club like Birmingham should never be in League One. But yeah, I was surprised that I'd got this one near enough spot on, but Birmingham were shocking this season. And then we go to the worst prediction on this video. 20th, I had Millwall, and they finished 8th. I think everyone, like QPR, predicted Millwall to do badly this season. I think a lot put them to go down, but yeah, fair play to Millwall. Millwall had a torrid season last year, finished 21st, near enough surviving, just about surviving relegation. I did say before the season started that Neil Harris, there's no way he's gonna last the full season, and long and behold, he was sacked in October, November time. He was replaced by Gary Rowett, and I think a lot of people, including myself, underestimated what Millwall can do. And honestly, fair play to Millwall. Gary Rowett, despite, even though that's not his team, to get them that high up the table and matching their 2017-18 finish, it's impressive. It's impressive, especially from the season they had last year. Fair play to Millwall, man. They really turned their side around. Only just missed out on playoffs. Going to be interesting to see what Rowett can do next year. Obviously, they have recently just re-signed Ryan Woods. Very good player. Obviously, Roundup did sign him when he was Stoke manager, so he's linking up with him again after quite an impressive loan spell this season. 19th, I had my team Charlton, and yeah, it turns out through the actual table, my predicted 19th and 22nd actually flipped the other way round. Luton were 19th, and my team Charlton were 22nd. Yep, we have gone down to League One. Yeah, we were the League One side that I ended up predicting to go down. I did predict a League One side to go down, but it wasn't Luton. It was my club, and yeah, we got what we deserved. At the end of the day, we got what we deserved. We deserved to go down. Obviously, just everything that could have went wrong. Injury crisis, shocking ownership, transfer embargo. Bowyer had a practically impossible task to do this season. The players couldn't have given anything more, but yeah, we have fallen short by 1 point and we have gone down. It does show how much the league has improved over the years. Last season, Millwall survived in 21st on 44 points and Charlton have gone down, finishing on 48. We are very close to expulsion from the league, so hopefully it's all right soon, but I don't have much optimism right now, as many Charlton fans really. We don't have much optimism about the future. I'm not expecting miracles next season in League One, but it's the fresh start that we need. If we can get new owners in, then I think we'll be okay. In 18th, I predicted Barnsley. I predicted these guys to do the best of the League One clubs. They weren't the best of the League One clubs. However, they did stay up. They finished in 21st. Their 91st minute winner against Brentford sunk Charlton in the bottom three, and they survived. I saw this stat earlier that just broke my heart. From like the September 15th or something like that, right until the 91st minute of the last day of the season, Barnsley were in the bottom three. So some might say shithousery, but I would like to say they stepped up when it mattered. They tend to be one of them clubs that yo-yo between the Championship and League One, and they seemingly have now sorted that out. I would consider them to be one of the favourites to go down next season. That's my opinion. 17th, I had Blackburn. They ended up in 11th. And if you recall back to when I did my predicting the last 8 games of the season, I actually predicted Blackburn to get playoffs. Solid top half of the table finish there. Tony Mowbray, really well done from him. Adam Armstrong, fantastic this season. 16th, Sheffield Wednesday. Actual finish, 16th. Got them spot on. And if you recall from the League One season last year, I only got one prediction correct, and that was AFC Wimbledon. They finished in 20th, and it's the same this year. Sheffield Wednesday is the only prediction I got spot on. They've ended up finishing in 16th. I can't help but sit here and wonder how this has happened, because if you recall back to like December, like November, December, they were third. They were high flying in the playoffs. They looked really good, and then they just sunk after that under Gary Monk. And yeah, not the best of seasons, fairly average for Wednesday. There is a lot of controversy going on with Wednesday at the moment, of course, with the outstanding points deductions that could well come into an effect. Reportedly, Sheffield Wednesday could be deducted 21 points for breaching FFP. Decision is to be made at the start of next month. Obviously, if they are to receive that deduction, it will see Charlton reinstated in the Championship. As a Charlton fan, I'm not relying on that to happen, because obviously Sheffield Wednesday don't deserve to go down, but you know, it's going to be interesting to see what comes out of it. They're only 8 points above Charlton, and the rumour is they could be receiving a 9 to 21 points deduction. So if they do receive a deduction between that range, Charlton will survive and Wednesday will go down. But as I say, Wednesday don't deserve to go down. It's already happened to Wigan and they don't deserve it. And Wednesday, if it was happened to 2 clubs, it'd be a bit of an outrage. But there is a rumour they've breached FFP. I don't know all too much about it, but there is that going on at the moment. So we'll wait and see what happens. But at this present moment, I have got Wednesday spot on, and this is the only prediction in this entire video that I've got correct. 15th, I predicted Reading. They ended up finishing 14th. So I was only one position off with this one again. I did think that Reading, the thing is with Reading is that they are one of the most unpredictable teams in this league. Very, very inconsistent season for them this year. Obviously started under Jose Gomez, they were absolutely shocking. They were looking like they were going to fight a bottom 3. Mark Bowen came in, really did pick them up. They really did have a strong recovery after Gomez got sacked. For me though, Reading, I mean, they've been in the bottom half of the table for a few seasons though, and it's just about trying to find that cutting edge to get them in the top half of the table. But the thing is though, they've been so inconsistent this season that you wonder when that's going to be. 14th, Hull City. Yeah, not a great one with that one. They ended up finishing rock bottom of the table. And once again, I just sit here and wonder how. In January, they were 8th, 3 points off the bloody playoffs. And then they lost Jared Bowen. And a lot of people tried to say, oh, Hull aren't a one-man team. Like, obviously, Bowen is quality. He's a fantastic player. He was really good for them. But, Hull ain't a one-man team, you know. Bowen leaves, Grzycki leaves, and I've never seen a capitulation this bad in my life. Honestly, from the turn of the year, 6 points out of 60. Like, that is, it was something like that. Absolutely shocking record from Hull. And deservedly so, they've gone down. They lost 8-0 to Wigan, which just sums up their season, really. Just absolutely embarrassing. I mean, when you've got Josh McGuinness up front, you ain't got much hope. But yeah, no, I do wish Hull all the best. Once again, another team ridiculed with poor ownership. Hull find themselves in League One, and I think it could be a bit of a difficult rebuild up ahead for next season, though. And finally, 13th, I had Preston North End, and they ended up finishing in 9th. And I did think that I did think they might sneak in the playoffs at one point. I remember back in November, they were actually top of the league, flying for automatic promotion. They died off a little bit. They were in the playoffs. After the turn of the new year, they just, I don't know what happened to them. They just started to go on quite a bad run. Ultimately, they have had a strong finish. They've had a good season in 9th. They do need that extra investment, though, if they are going to get promoted. Over the last couple of seasons, they've been quite inactive in summer and January windows. And then moving on to the top half of the table from 12th to 7th. In 12th, I had Huddersfield Town, obviously coming down from the Premier League. There was quite the divide between the Championship fans. A lot of people were saying Huddersfield are going to go up, and then on the other side of the spectrum you have Huddersfield are going to go down. There was no in-between, so I went with the in-between part and thought, yeah, they'll finish mid-table. I didn't think they would get promoted. I didn't think they'd go down. I felt they might steady out in mid-table, but there was a massive rebuild job they had up ahead with their manager, Jan Siewert. Unsurprisingly, he was sacked not too far into the season. What was it, like 5 or 6 games in? Ended up finishing 18th. Carl Grant was fantastic for them, 19 goals, but all in all as a squad, they really were poor this year, and a lot of people weren't actually expecting them to, I mean, I personally wasn't expecting them to do that badly. I knew that they would be, I knew they wouldn't be anywhere near playoffs or promotion. I felt that like mid-table maybe at best, but a lot of my friends are actually saying as well, like Huddersfield, they're going to be down there this season. I was like, no, they'll be all right. But yeah, they turned out to be right. They finished 18th in the end, and obviously, if you've seen the latest news coming out of Huddersfield, the Cowley brothers have been sacked recently. So I don't know what to think about that. A lot of people were saying that's not a great decision. Got a lot of work to do next season, and it does look likely that Carl Grant will be leaving in the summer. So if they do lose him, there's a massive hole to fill there. Next season, I don't see them being anywhere near promotion or playoffs, anywhere like that. I reckon a mid-table finish probably at best for them next year. 11th, we have Swansea City, and all I can do is applaud Swansea. All I can do is applaud them. 6th place in the end, sneaking in the playoffs by just 1 goal. Fair play to Swansea, man. Once again, they were one of them teams like October, November time. They were top of the league, high flying at the top end of the table, looking likely to get automatic promotion. They died off a little bit around the Christmas period and February time, somewhere like that, and they were near enough like top end of the mid-table. On the final day of the season, it was between them and Nottingham Forest. Forest had Stoke. Swansea had Reading. Swansea beat Reading 4-1. Forest lost 4-1 to Stoke, and Swansea got the job done and ended up in the playoffs. So fair play to Swansea. And then another far off one, 10th, Brentford. Oh, God. 10th place predicted Brentford. They ended up in 3rd. And they had automatic promotion literally in their hands. They had it right there in front of them, and then they just throw it away. Lost to Stoke and Barnsley. All they needed to do was just get a win against one of those two sides, and they were going to be playing Premier League football. Brentford, for me, I said this a couple of times this season, best footballing side in the division. Not even joking. Their front two, BMW, Benrahma and Mbeumo and Watkins, best front three in the Championship, in my opinion. One of the best front three the Championship has ever seen. And it's absolutely fantastic. And I honestly, if Brentford don't get promoted, I'll be astonished. I am backing Brentford to get promoted, but if they don't go up with that squad, I don't know. I don't know. In 9th, I predicted Stoke. Now, this one, quite frankly, pisses me off, because I said, like, a lot of people were saying, yeah, Stoke are going to be up there this year. They're going to be up there. Championship last season, where did they finish? They were like 17th, something like that. And I was sitting there thinking, like, me putting Stoke this high up just feels wrong. Like I said there, like, hold on a minute. Stoke was 17th this year. They've signed players like Nick Powell, Tom Ince. They've not really strengthened based off last year. And I'm sitting here thinking, like, after I made this prediction video, I really should have put Stoke a lot lower. And lo and behold, my conscience was right. Stoke finished 15th in the end. An improvement from last year, but Nathan Jones just did not work. They were in the relegation zone from, like, what, the start of the season all the way to December. Then Michael O'Neill came in. He managed to steady the ship. Then results improved drastically. A lot of people were sitting there thinking, like, how was Stoke still in the bottom relegation? They're a good team. Stoke are a very good side. but they ended up finishing mid-table, near enough around that range. But even me saying, when I made this prediction, but I said to myself, putting Stoke 9th just feels wrong. Like, I was thinking like maybe like 16th or 17th is probably more realistic. A lot of people, even Sky Sports, were saying like, yeah, they're going to finish just outside the playoffs. So I went with that stupidly, but yeah, way off with that one. 8th, Nottingham Forest was what I predicted, and I can't believe it. Once again, I can't believe that I've come this close to getting it spot on. They finished 7th, and I have no idea how. How you can bottle that? How you can bottle playoffs when they've been top 5 like the majority of the season? How you can bottle it on the final day, losing 4-1 to Stoke? There was something within me saying, yeah, Forest are going to lose to Stoke. They have a tendency to bottle it against the bottom clubs. They lost to Barnsley as well the game before. But yeah, Swansea, like, they literally gave Swansea the open opportunity. Swansea got a late goal right at the end to give them that push into the playoffs. They beat them by a goal, and I'm stunned. A lot of Championship fans are having their fun laughing at Forest because they bottled it again, but mate, how that team didn't get playoffs is beyond me. But yeah, I was only one position off with this one. I can't believe how they've done that, really, how they've done it, but classic Forest, really. And finally, 7th, I had Middlesbrough. I predicted them to finish 7th for a second season in a row. Obviously, they were under Jonathan Woodgate, obviously a new manager. I did have that feeling that with the squad that Borough had, they'd do enough to finish in that position. Yep, way off with that one. They ended up finishing 17th. How a team like Borough can finish that low down the table really is shocking. Well, how Jonathan Woodgate lasted as long as he did is beyond me, but he eventually did get sacked. He was sacked during the lockdown period. Neil Warnock, who's come out of retirement so many times now, came in to steady the ship. He did keep them up, as I predicted them to do so when he came in, and he's actually now recently been appointed as manager for next season as well. So hopefully Borough can kick on from there. I reckon they'll have a good season next year, certainly improving from their current position. I don't know how they finished that low down. And now we move on to the top 6, starting off with the playoffs. In 6th, another team that I predicted not to change position from last year, Derby County. Under a new manager as well, under Philip Koku, obviously. I did think they'd get playoffs. Yeah, not great from them this year either. They finished in 10th. They finished quite strong, but at the start of the season, my word, they were awful. They had an absolutely disastrous start to the season. A lot of things went wrong for them this year as well. You had the Tom Lawrence, Richard Keogh scandal, and overall just playing shocking football. A lot of Derby fans were turning on Koku, saying they wanted him out. My team, Charlton, smashed them apart 3-0 in October. That was quite a surprise as well. They managed to steady the ship past January. They managed to improve massively. Were very close to a playoff push in the end, but ended up finishing in 10th. 5th, I had Bristol City. I did expect that with the squad that they had and with the money that they'd spent, they'd do enough to get playoffs. And yeah, I didn't expect them to finish as low down as they did. They finished 12th, smack in the middle of mid-table. Lee Johnson just wasn't the man to take them forward. A lot of people have said it over the last few seasons. Lee Johnson just isn't the man to take them forward. And unsurprisingly, he was sacked at some point during the lockdown period. His replacement is said to be Chris Hughton, who I think will do really well. Paul Cook, the Wigan manager, has been linked with the job as well, but yeah, I predict them to finish 5th with the money that they had and the money that they got from selling the likes of Lloyd Kelly and Aaron Webster, bringing in the likes of Hanno Masengo and having players like Jeju, Andreas Weimann, like good players like that, and they end up finishing mid-table. 4th, I predicted Cardiff, obviously coming down from the Premier League as well. I expected them to do quite well. Only one position off with this one. They finished 5th in the end. They did climb into the playoffs quite late on in the season as well, and obviously with Nottingham Forest bottling it as per usual, they ended up finishing above them. And in 3rd, I predicted West Bromwich Albion. Obviously appointed Slaven Bilic at the start of the season. I thought that was a very, very good appointment, a very, very solid manager. I did predict correctly. They finished top 3, but they ended up going one step further than that, and they got promoted via automatics. They finished in 2nd. Very quality season from Slaven Bilic. The players they had over the course of the season. Mateus Pereira, what a player in the Championship he was. Probably one of the best Championship players this season, if not the best. He was absolutely fantastic. Like Semi Ajayi at the back, he was quality. Very solid from West Brom, and obviously they're back in the Premier League now. And on to the top 2, the automatics. In 2nd, I predicted Leeds United. I was praying that this was the season that Leeds go up. Obviously, everyone has a laugh at Leeds saying, oh yeah, they bottle it every single year. They bottled it in dramatic fashion last year. But I was sitting there thinking, this is the year they're going to go up. And they finally have gone up, but they've not gone up in 2nd. They've gone up as champions. Congratulations to Leeds. They really do deserve it to go up this year. absolutely fantastic under Marcelo Bielsa, and they've finally gone up. And I do think they'll be looking all right next year as well. A good solid mid-table finish, I reckon, is what they're going to be after. But it's about time Leeds got promoted. I know people can say all this thing about, yeah, I like seeing Leeds bottle it and like seeing them stand down in the Championship, but man, all respect to Leeds. They're a club that deserves to be in the Premier League. I love seeing a club like Leeds back in the Premier League, and I'm looking forward to seeing them next season. Obviously, some quality players. Calvin Phillips, fantastic over the course of this season. Helder Costa signed a permanent. Pablo Hernandez, who is now retiring, so he was absolutely fantastic for them over his years as well. Ben White as well on loan from Brighton. It'll be interesting to see whether they're going to get him on a permanent as well. But yeah, all the best to Leeds in the Premier League. They obviously deserve to win the league. But the team that I did predict to win the league at the start of the season was Fulham. I remember saying at the start of the season, their team isn't legal in the Championship. Under Scott Parker, they had, what was it, like Mitrovic, Cavallero, Dekarova, Reed, Knockout, Kearney. They had some quality players. They didn't finish in the top two, but they have finished in the playoffs. Fulham ended up in 4th. I do think they'll be going to the finals. I think they'll be losing to Brentford though. So that is it for this video, guys. Hope you guys did enjoy it. If you did, can you possibly leave a like, subscribe if you're new around here, and turn on those post notifications so you're notified of when I post. All in all, shocking predictions from me in the end as well. There were some that I was close with. There were some that I got absolutely wrong. I got one correct. That was Sheffield Wednesday, like I did last season. I got Wimbledon correct last year. Yeah, not great for me. Nostradamus, I am not. It's been Tyler Rollinson. Have a nice day, and I'll see you all in the next video. Take it easy, guys, and I'll see you later.